Thank you for listening to God's Truth with Free Will. I'm Esther Ross. Visit my website, www.soaringondestiny.com. Subscribe to this channel and share with others. And please, as you hear scriptures, read them. When you have an opportunity, sit back and read the scriptures given. I want to begin by saying forgiveness reveals the heart of God in a person, a heart that operates showing grace and mercy. Unforgiveness shows us that Satan is on the scene. Satan is cunning, and he leads the heart and mind of his followers against all that represents God's will. Satan orchestrates unforgiveness, and Satan enjoys force that can destroy a person's ability to think positive after a publicized mistake or a mistake constantly mentioned after it's time to forgive. Therefore, we must be careful of our actions because Satan is pulling the strings to remove dignity from a person's name, destroy their financial livelihood, and cause them to believe that their life is worthless instead of remembering with God all things are possible, even when they've done wrong. Read John 3:16 through 17. Marvel and Disney had a choice to forgive or not forgive Jonathan Majors, who pulled his phone away from Grace Jabari for pushing her into the car, for truth that justice slants during political times that include popular choices, and especially for watching Jonathan Majors, supposedly the aggressor, run swiftly down the street away from Miss Jabari, who was chasing after him. Years ago, the word of a man was believed more than a woman, and women were strongly against justice overlooking them. It's sad when a time of being mistreated is not remembered as things change. But many women have forgotten those days because now women side with women and believe every man deserves to be considered wrong and a woman considered to be right when she alleges a man attacked her. I've been an African descendant of slavery in America too long for that. Any person or people left unprotected bothers me a great deal. When a man loses his job because justice offers no forgiveness or injustice ignores a need to investigate, it's a good time to consider what God says. 1 Timothy 5, verse 8. But if anyone does not provide for his own, especially those in his own house, he has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever. Who has the right to cause a man or woman to live as an unbeliever? Choosing to destroy a person's life does not come from God, not from the Spirit of God, and not from the Son of God. Satan is involved with that. Jezebel was a daughter, a wife, a mother, a female who operated in the spirit of Satan, and a thief led by Satan. Although her husband was king, Jezebel pulled the strings. Read 1 Kings 21, verses 1 through 15. 1 Kings 21, verses 9 through 10. She wrote in the letter saying, proclaim a fast and set Naboth at the head of the people. Then seat 2 sons of Belial before him and let them testify against him, saying, you cursed God and the king. Then take him out and stone him to death. If memory serves us right, we can all remember the beginning. Satan talked with the woman because God made man and talked with Adam. Therefore, Satan wanted man destroyed then and now. God chose man to head his household. Satan wants woman to rule over a man. Keep your eye on God's plan and God's will, not government and politics. How much force, control, and dishonor to God are you seeing in these final days? The woman to remember is David's wife, Abigail. Read 1 Samuel 25, verses 2 through 42, and learn about the beauty inside the heart of this amazing woman, Abigail. When we think about Marvel removing Jonathan Majors from his role as Cain, be more considerate to Marvel and Disney than they were to Majors. Forgive their past mistakes of using stereotypical characters in movies such as Dumbo, Peter Pan, The Aristocats, Fantasia, and Song of the South. Dumbo includes a group of crows. The leader of the birds was named Jim Crow. Think back to the Jim Crow laws of America that forced African Americans to be forbidden from almost everything but breathing. That Jim Crow. Now let's talk about O.J. Simpson. U.S. News in June 2024 stated online records show that the State Commission on Peace Officer Standards and Training decertified Furman on May 14th based on a government code that includes ineligibility based on a prior felony conviction. During the Simpson trial, Detective Mark Furman refused to answer all questions and invoked his Fifth Amendment rights after being accused of planting key evidence in what was called a racially motivated plot against OJ. What about interviews of Furman bragging about beating and torturing gang members? Furman said, "We had them begging that they'd never be gang members again, begging us." Furman's negative attitude toward African Americans was also evident in a taped interview. He said that he would tell blacks, "You do what you're told. Understand, nigger? Investigate before believing the multitude decision." Read Genesis 6 and read Genesis 19. During the Simpson trial, it was reported that Nicole Brown talked with someone at 9:45 p.m. The limo driver said OJ came out to load up the limo around 11 p.m. OJ was acquitted, so my words are not about claiming his guilt or innocence. But I can tell you this, I will never believe any person could commit 2 murders, go home, leave no blood in the washing machine, drain pipes, no bloody clothes, and catch a flight out in that length of time. Now about Michael Vick. Vick said he rarely visited the property where the dogfighting took place, and Michael blamed his family for taking advantage of his generosity. Prosecutor Gerald G. Poindexter had concerns about a search warrant secured by Surry County officials, so the officials never acted on the warrant. However, on the day the warrant expired, federal officials joined the state police investigators and did their own search. Poindexter was on vacation and unaware of the search at the time it was done, and he publicly questioned the federal government's interest in a dog fighting case. He suggested Vick's celebrity status and race was their possible motivation. Poindexter, Michael Vick, and Sheriff Harold Brown are all African American. The federal government and state police gave a lot of attention to dogfighting. So let's revisit Birmingham, Alabama in 1963. Police officers used clubs, fire hoses, and also had dogs attack and maul African Americans as they demonstrated against racial segregation in America. Compare the 2007 dogfighting offense against Michael Vick with dogs being used by police to maul men and women in 1963. The same officers so intent on bringing charges against Vick could possibly enjoy fights of heavyweight or middleweight championships of boxing. Also, organized dogfighting became a part of American culture and was promoted by the United Kennel Club, a club organized since 1898. Media, justice, injustice, the protected and unprotected all need knowledge and understanding from God to know what's really going on. The same media that criticized Simone Biles for having the courage to remove herself from the Tokyo Olympics to consider her mental health is now celebrating her for receiving a gold medal. Michael Jordan is now a billionaire, but during the most devastating time of his life, the loss of his father, James Jordan, the media accused Michael's gambling for possibly being why his dad was missing until the truth proved they were completely wrong. And for the record, a person with a gambling problem will seldom become a billionaire. The truth is, divisions, criticism, hate, and rejection happen too often based on those who rule by power and politics. The British descendants from the early colonies stand together, but for many, differences cause a loss of unity and freedom with justice for all. Titles are from man, not God. Read what God told the house of Israel in 1 Samuel 8, verse 7. And read how, long before this in Deuteronomy 17, verses 14 through 15, God revealed to them what was going to happen when they arrived in the land and began entangling themselves with the ways of Gentiles. America had British colonies, people from a land with a king. So it makes sense that before 1901, when President Theodore Roosevelt officially gave the current name White House to the home of the president, former names were the President's Palace and the Executive Mansion. God revealed to us what rulers would be like long before slavery in America, before a constitution, and before religions. Matthew 20, verses 25 through 28. But Yeshua called them over and said, You know that the rulers of the nations lord it over them, and their great ones play the tyrant over them. It shall not be this way among you. And their great ones play the tyrant over them. It shall not be this way among you. But whoever wants to be great among you shall be your servant, and whoever wants to be first among you shall be your slave. Just as the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many. God bless you all. Next week, my message will be ridiculous with reasons. I hope you'll join me again. Have a great weekend and continue listening. Take care now.